family, welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on this video. If you've been following this series of the IELTS tips or top tips I've been talking about, you can check my two last videos. I've been talking about the top tips you can use to ace your IELTS test, and I've talked about the general tips you can use to ace your IELTS test. I've also mentioned the top tips you can use to ace your speaking and your writing test. So today I'm going to be doing a cap up of the listening and reading test. I'm not going to be doing a separate video. I discovered I just do one single video. Listening test is designed to assess how well you can understand ideas, how you can recognize opinions, and also how you can follow the development of an idea or argument, because it's made up of 3 different sections and each section has its own peculiarities. IELTS listening test is one of the shortest because it's just for 30 minutes and you're going to have 10 minutes to transfer your answer and also to look around. So let's go through these top tips that is required for you to ace your IELTS test. In IELTS tests, you are required to skim. Skimming is very important because you have to skim the question first before you start listening to the recordings. If you have any problem hearing the recordings, you have to make sure you raise your hands. Test your AirPod before you start the test. So let's go through the top tips you're required in this listening test. Firstly, I'm going to tell you to make sure you attempt all questions, because there's no penalty for incorrect answers, and don't waste time on a question you don't know. You just have to, if you don't hear, just guess or move on. You don't just keep wondering and don't keep waiting to get the answer. If you do not get the answer, move to the next question. Also, watch out for plurals in answers. And if the answer is plural, a singular answer is incorrect. Even if it's the same answer, but so far it's a singular answer, it's automatically wrong. So make sure you watch out for plurals in your answers. Also prepare to hear a potential answer. The trick about IELTS listening test is that the answer can come after 2 words and sometimes it can come after 2 to 3 sentences. So be alert as much as possible to listen to get the answer immediately, or after. It might be after 2 words, it might be after 3 sentences. Just make sure you're alert as much as possible. Also, answers appears in order they are added in the audio. Something about IELTS listening is when the answers comes accordingly. Like answer 1 to 10 comes according to the audio. According to how you listen to the audio, that is how the answer comes. So when you've answered all your question, some people prefer to write their answers first in a rough paper before transferring it into their IELTS test sheet. So when you are doing this, you have to make sure you are very, very careful when you're transferring it, because you have to be very careful of spellings. Make sure your spelling. Something about IELTS listening is it's possible to get all the answer, but if you have one spelling wrong, that is automatically failing. Makes you automatically to fail the test. So make sure you are very careful about the spellings, and you have to write the answer to what you are listening to. The best way I'm going to advise you to prepare for your listening test is to make sure you practice as often as possible. You have to continue practicing. Practice with real IELTS materials, with IELTS recordings. These are the stuff that's going to help you in your IELTS test. Also, multiple choice answers will ask for all letters. So there's a section in the IELTS listening where you're just going to fill in the gap, or they're just going to ask for letters. Some they're going to ask you, no, don't use more than 2 words. Some answer question they might say don't use more than 3 words. And when you have hyphenated words, e.g. part-time, these are considered as a single word. So if the question is saying you should answer the question using 2 words, you can use a part-time and hyphenated words and another word. That makes it 2 words. So make sure you read the instructions before beginning all sections. Something about IELTS listening is all sections have specific instructions. So make sure you read all sections accordingly to ensure you're answering the question in the right manner, and to also ensure you are writing what the examiner or what the examination, the test, what they want you to put down. Alright. In IELTS listening, it's either you're writing your IELTS academic or IELTS general. It's actually both same, and it takes 30 minutes, 40 minutes in total, 10 minutes to transfer your answer. And make sure you are alert as much as possible, because you're going to only have you will only be able to listen to the recording once. You won't be able to listen to the recording again. So I advise, if you are able to just quickly scan through the question, skim and scan before the test commences, that would be very, very good. Okay, and that's the top tips about listening. Let's go through top tips of reading. It's quite similar, but something about reading is it needs you to be very, very, very fast. You have to be a fast reader. You have to be able to develop your ability of skimming and scanning. You have to develop your speed on reading skills. When you are doing your reading test or when you're practicing your reading, put your practice under exam condition. Don't try to understand the full passage at once. Just try as much as possible to skim and scan and locate your answers. You don't need to understand the passage, because you are not trying to get everything at once. You just want to get your answer. You want to locate your answer and move on. So make sure you skim over or scan as much as possible. And when you're skimming and scanning, watch for your answers, and watch your time also when you are practicing, when you are doing this test, because timing also is very important. Don't dwell too much on skimming or looking for answers. Make sure you check your spellings. This is very important. Checking spellings is important, because you can actually get the answer, but when your spelling is wrong, that means you are not able to ace that. Also, keep your order and underline. Pay attention to your details as much as possible. Okay, guys, I think I've been able to mention some top tips that's going to help you to ace your speaking, that's going to help you to ace your reading and your listening test. And if you are preparing for your test, make sure you continue to practice. Please practice under time condition. And when you write your test and you ace your exam, don't forget to come back and share your comments with me. I will be so happy. A lot of people have come back to share their comments after passing their exams, and say, "Oh, Ruth, I passed my exam, so thank you very much." Okay, so I will be so happy for you if you you'll be sending me that information that you aced your examination. Okay, guys, thank you for watching my video. I hope I've been able to say some top tips for you, and I'll be seeing you in my next video.